Welcome, listener. Today we're going to delve into some, well, truly remarkable and frankly often unsettling stories.
Yeah, the sources cover quite a range.
We'll be looking into the hidden parts of human nature. There's a shocking betrayal in a hospital, a decades-long search for a missing child, and then this incredible story about citizen detectives.
Each one has its own, twists and turns.
Exactly. And the first one, it's tough. A really stark reminder that sometimes evil looks completely ordinary. So just be prepared as we get into these.
Okay.
Let's start in the UK. The case of Lucy Letby, it really shook people.
Understandably so.
She was a nurse, mid-20s, working at the Countess of Chester Hospital, NHS, looked after premature babies in the neonatal unit, the most vulnerable patients imaginable.
Right, a position of immense trust.
And to everyone who knew her, she seemed, well, normal.
Yeah.
Kind, liked cats, salsa dancing, enjoyed cocktails with friends. But underneath that, something truly awful was happening.
The facade.
Yeah. So August 4th, 2015, a mother pops out from her newborn son's side just for a moment. Child E, he was 5 days old.
Mm-hmm.
She comes back, finds him crying, and there's blood around his mouth. And Lucy Letby is right there.
What was Letby doing?
The mother said she was pretending to look busy, fiddling around, but not actually helping. The baby sadly died.
And the cause?
They put it down to a bowel condition. No postmortem was done then. It was seen as, a tragic, isolated event.
But it wasn't isolated, was it?
Not at all. And this is where you look back and the pattern seems so clear. That unit, Countess of Chester, they usually had maybe 2 or 3 deaths a year. Tops.
Which is expected in a neonatal unit, unfortunately.
Yes.
Some babies are just too fragile.
Right. But by August 2015, just halfway through the year, 4 babies had died, and 5 others had had these sudden, near-fatal collapses. Some were left with lifelong problems, like blindness.
And the common factor.
Lucy Letby, on duty, every single time. At first, though, it was brushed off. Unfortunate coincidence. She was seen as smiley, well-liked, diligent.
It's often the case, isn't it? People don't want to believe the worst, especially of someone who seems so nice.
Absolutely. But what do the sources say about the mischances, the points where someone should have stepped in, given those early signs?
Well, what's really striking in the reports isn't just, a failure to notice. It's the active resistance from management later on.
Right.
There's this pattern, almost textbook, where institutions kind of circle the wagons when whistleblowers raise concerns.
Yeah.
They blame the messenger.
Mm-hmm.
And here, that delay, that pushback, it cost lives. It delayed serious investigation for over 2 years.
2 years, it's staggering. And things just got worse into 2016.
Yeah.
A colleague actually found Lucy just watching a baby that had stopped breathing, not doing anything.
Just watching.
Yeah. Thankfully, that baby survived. But more doctors started raising concerns, and senior managers reportedly told them to, stop making a fuss. Said the deaths were natural heart problems, pneumonia.
Trying to find other explanations.
It's exactly. Then June 2016, Lucy comes back from holiday. She's assigned to care for 3 healthy newborn triplets.
Healthy triplets, okay.
Within 24 hours, 2 of them suddenly got sick and died. That was the tipping point.
It had to be.
The consultants were convinced someone was doing this deliberately. What was it about these cases specifically that made them so sure, overriding that initial disbelief?
It was the nature of the collapses. The reports emphasize this. These weren't gradual deteriorations in very sick babies.
Right.
They were sudden, completely unexpected collapses in infants who were stable or even improving, and the symptoms were often bizarre, medically inexplicable. That consistent, weird pattern, plus Lucy always being there. Mm-hmm. That's what the doctors couldn't ignore anymore.
The pattern, it was undeniable then. So after the second triplet died, they finally called an emergency meeting.
About time.
Dr. Stephen Briery, one of the consultants, he flat out told a senior manager, suspend her, get her away from patients.
Yeah.
The manager refused, unbelievably refused, even said they'd take responsibility if anything else happened. Yeah. And the very next day, another baby nearly died on Lucy's watch. Finally, they moved her off the unit, put her on administrative duties.
And the deaths.
Stopped. Immediately. Just stopped.
But still no police involvement.
Still no formal investigation. Management actively fought against calling the police. One email reply to the concerned consultants basically said, action is being taken, all emails cease forthwith.
Wow. trying to shut it down.
Clearly trying to manage it internally, protect reputations. They actually upheld a grievance Lucy filed against the consultants and ordered the doctors to apologize to her.
Apologize for raising concerns about babies dying. That's perverse.
It is. What do the sources say about that specific dynamic? Prioritizing reputation, ordering apologies. What does that signify?
It's more than just bad management. It's a deep ethical breakdown. The reports suggest a system protecting its image above everything, even patient lives. By actively suppressing concerns, they didn't just enable Letby, they created this atmosphere of fear. It undermined the whole safety system.
Chilling. But the consultants, thankfully, they wouldn't back down, especially as Lucy was apparently due to return to nursing duties somewhere else.
Right.
So they went directly to the Cheshire Police in May 2017. That started Operation Hummingbird.
Okay.
And the investigation, it took about a year. Uncovered horrifying evidence. Lab results on at least 2 babies showed really high insulin levels, but low C-peptide levels. What's the significance of that for our listeners?
That's crucial forensic evidence. See, your body produces C-peptide along with its own insulin in equal amounts.
Okay.
So if insulin's high, but C-peptide is low, it's basically proof the insulin came from outside the body. It was injected.
Proof of external administration
Okay.
and other babies.
They found evidence of air being injected. Even tiny amounts of air injected into a baby's bloodstream can cause a fatal air embolism. It's incredibly dangerous and hard to detect after death.
So deliberate harm proven scientifically.
Absolutely. It pointed directly at intentional acts.
And at her home, detectives found, well, disturbing things. Diaries with nights like, I haven't done anything wrong, right next to, I killed them on purpose, I'm evil, I did this.
Contradictory, but that confession.
Exactly. And her search history showed she was looking up the parents of the babies she attacked. She even sent some of them sympathy cards.
This grotesque.
The trial started October 2022, finished August 2023. Guilty. Murdering 7 infants, attempting to murder 6 others. She wouldn't even show up for her sentencing.
Refused to face the families.
Refused. The judge gave her a whole life order. She'll never get out. The sheer calculated evil and the system that failed to stop her sooner. It's a very dark lesson.
A profound failure on multiple levels.
Okay, let's shift gears. From that kind of calculated malice, we turn to a different story. A decades-long mystery, a kidnapping, but with an almost unbelievable ending. This is the story of Melissa Highsmith.
A very different kind of case.
It starts August 23rd, 1971, Fort Worth, Texas. A young mother, Alta Apantenko, she'd recently separated from her husband, Jeffrey, needed childcare for her little girl, Melissa, just 21 months old.
Right.
So she puts an ad in the local paper. A woman calls, says her name is Ruth Johnson. Sounds good on the phone, says she has a big yard, looks after other kids.
Well, seemed okay over the phone then.
Yeah, based just on phone calls, Alta agreed. The next morning, Alta goes to work, leaves Melissa with her roommate. Ruth Johnson arrives, picks up Melissa, and just never brings her back.
Vanished.
The roommate was the only one who saw her, described her as ordinary looking, except for one weird detail. White gloves. On a hot Texas day in August.
White gloves. Odd.
Very odd. Police started searching, got some local news coverage, but nothing. No real leads.
And back then, investigating something like this, what were the big hurdles? Oh, huge hurdles. In the early 70s, you didn't have the DNA tech, the national databases we rely on now. Leads dried up fast. Investigations stalled. And tragically, as the sources often show in these older cases, suspicion sometimes fell unfairly on the parents.
Alta definitely felt that suspicion, which must have been agonizing.
It compounds the trauma immensely. You've lost your child, and now people are looking at you.
But Alta and Jeffrey, Melissa's parents, they never, ever gave up. They did newspaper interviews, TV appearances, later on podcasts, always keeping her story out there.
Keeping hope alive.
They celebrated her birthday every single year, drove 1,000 miles once for a false sighting. But decades passed, the chances seemed, well, slimmer and slimmer.
50 years is a long time.
50 years. Then, late 2022. Jeffrey, Melissa's dad, he's older now, he decides to build his family tree using 23andMe.
The DNA databases.
Exactly. And the results,
Yeah.
startling. He gets matches for 3 people he doesn't know, but the DNA is so strong, they have to be his grandchildren.
Grandchildren. But his only child was missing.
Makes no sense, right? So he digs deeper, finds the mother of these supposed grandkids, a woman in her 50s, Melanie Walden, living less than 20 minutes away from Fort Worth.
No way. So close.
So close. He contacts her, persuades her to take a DNA test, and the results confirm it. Melanie Walden is Melissa Highsmith.
Wow. After all that time, how did genetic genealogy make this possible when everything else failed for 50 years? It's completely changed the game for cold cases.
Right.
Unlike old-school forensics needing crime scene DNA, genetic genealogy uses these public databases.
Right.
People upload their DNA looking for relatives. This creates a huge network. Even distant cousins can provide a link. For Jeffrey, finding people who were genetically his grandchildren let him basically work backward through the family tree until he found his daughter.
Amazing. It bypasses the need for witnesses or old leads entirely.
Fundamentally different approach.
Revolutionary, really.
So Melissa, or Melanie, as she knew herself, she'd been raised by someone else entirely.
Yes, she believed the woman who raised her was her biological mother.
And when she found out, she confronted the woman, who admitted it. Admitted she'd bought Melissa back in 1972 for $500.
Bought her. Unbelievable. Was this woman the original kidnapper, Ruth Johnson?
It's never been proven definitively. And because so much time has passed, the statute of limitations means no charges can be filed now.
So no legal justice for the kidnapping itself.
Unfortunately, no.
Melissa said her upbringing was hard. She ran away when she was 15, hinted she had to do, what she had to do to get by.
A difficult life, clearly.
Imagine finding out your entire life, your identity, was based on a lie like that. What's the psychological impact? How do you even start to process that?
It's a massive identity crisis. Psychologists who studied similar situations describe it like that. You're grieving a life you thought you had, relationships built on falsehoods,
Yeah.
and then connecting with your biological family.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, but also incredibly complex. You're strangers, in a way. You have to build history, deal with the grief of lost time, figure out who you are now. It's a huge reconstruction process.
So in 2023, 51 years later, she's reunited. Alta gets vindication, but she missed her daughter's whole life. Jeffrey gets his daughter back, but she has no memory of him.
Bittersweet doesn't even begin to cover it.
And Melissa, her whole world turned upside down. But the sources say she plans to change her name back to Melissa.
Reclaiming her identity.
Yeah, and she wants to renew her wedding vows so her birth parents can actually see her get married this time, trying to make new memories. It's just an incredible story of persistence and, well, the power of DNA.
Absolutely. The resilience is astounding.
Okay, one final story. This one is about determination too, but from a different angle. Community, volunteers, quiet heroes. We're going to Tasmania, Australia. The disappearance of Dale Nicholson.
Right down to Tasmania.
December 10th, 2016. Dale Nicholson, 61 years old, living in New Norfolk, tells a friend he's going fishing. Neighbor sees him get in his car with his fishing rods.
Okay.
And then nothing. He's never seen or heard from again. Family reports him missing. Police search, but find no clues.
Any background? Any reason he might disappear?
His family knew he struggled. Battled with dark thoughts, they said. Had issues with alcohol and heavier substances sometimes, so they were really worried.
Okay, so there were concerns.
Yeah. But the search turned up nothing. He was eventually declared legally dead in 2021, but his body was still missing. Why are cases involving water often so hard to solve, even with initial searches?
Water is just incredibly difficult. Lakes, rivers, they're vast, murky. Visibility is often zero.
Right.
Without a very precise idea of where someone went in, searching is like looking for a needle in a giant opaque haystack. Official resources are limited. They have to prioritize cases with active leads. If those dry up, especially in a water search, the case often goes cold.
Makes sense. So Dale was a keen fisherman, last seen heading out with his gear. This caught the attention of a specific group, volunteer search and rescue divers.
Ah, the divers who use sonar, often featured on YouTube.
Exactly. These guys, they explore lakes and rivers, often finding missing people whose cars are submerged, sometimes in places people drive past every day.
And they do it for free, right? Just to help families.
For free, driven purely by wanting to provide closure. What is it they bring? Is it just the tech or something else?
It's a combination.
Yeah.
They often have really advanced sonar gear, like side scan sonar, that can map the bottom in incredible detail and spot things like cars.
Better tech sometimes than official agencies.
Sometimes, or at least more specialized for this specific task, but it's also their dedication. They can focus intensely on one case, sometimes for weeks, combing an area meticulously. Official teams often have many cases and can't dedicate that sustained effort after initial searches fail.
That focus makes a difference.
A huge difference.
So January this year, a YouTuber goes by Down Under Dan Diving. He's there in Tasmania with an American colleague, Bill McIntosh.
Okay.
They were actually looking for someone else in the River Derwent, but they realized a spot they were checking might fit Dale Nicholson's case from 6 years earlier.
A potential link.
Yeah. Their sonar picks up an object, size and shape of a car, and the location, right behind the New Norfolk swimming pool, just minutes from Dale's house.
Very close to home.
Very. They knew they had to dive on it. First dive, they get close enough to read the license plate. It's Dale's car.
Right.
Blue Ford Fairmont. And then they see something in the front seat. Human remains.
Oh, wow. Confirmation.
Confirmation. They didn't disturb anything else, just documented it and took the information straight to the local police.
How did the police react? Sometimes authorities aren't thrilled about amateurs getting involved.
That's often true, but the sources say the Tasmanian police were totally professional here. Acted quickly, validated the diver's find.
That's good to hear. A good collaboration.
Yeah. They cordoned off the area, dealt with some bollards, those posts to block cars that had actually been put up since Dale disappeared, and then they retrieved the car and the remains.
So the collaboration worked perfectly.
It did. 6 years after he vanished, Dale was found. Not by official channels alone, but because these two volunteers wouldn't get up.
Giving the family closure, finally.
Exactly. Though, as the family said, it's mixed emotions. Relief, yes, but also the final loss of that tiny bit of hope he might still be out there somewhere.
Of course. The end of uncertainty is also the confirmation of loss.
They might never know for sure if it was an accident or intentional, but at least he could finally be laid to rest.
Closure is invaluable, even when the answers are painful.
So we've covered a lot today, some really dark stories, but also stories with incredible resilience and unexpected turns.
Yeah, looking at the bigger picture, these cases really show both extremes, don't they? The capacity for calculated cruelty, like Letby, but also the incredible persistence of families like the Highsmiths and the dedication of people like those divers. It shows how truth can be hidden, sometimes for decades, by malice or just circumstance, but also how technology and simple human empathy and determination can eventually bring it to light.
So what stands out to you, listener, from these deep dives? Is it the chill of realizing evil can hide in plain sight? The sheer power of family bonds and DNA? Or these everyday people becoming heroes?
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. How many other stories are out there, hidden, waiting for someone to connect the dots?
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive today.
Yes, thank you.
If you found these stories compelling, maybe a bit chilling, but important, please do like this deep dive. Share it with someone else who appreciates these kinds of explorations, and subscribe to the channel for more.
Your support helps us keep digging into these cases.
Absolutely. We appreciate you listening, and we look forward to diving deeper with you again next time.